injured here. 1v1 on Sewell Frontier. Blue side we have Tex, also known as Texanius, as a Warboss. Big stompy melee commander, can support his boys pretty well too. Red side we have LittleBelchenok as the Inquisitor, in offensive commander, can fight melee or ranged, has lots of snares. 3 VPs as always, one right at the top in the northeast, one centre and one southwest, none of them particularly natural. We have a huge line of points to cap here, though the map left to right anyway is not too big. Texanius goes for double shooters, light ranged infantry, the usual opening for Orks in this game. LittleBelchenok goes for another guardsman squad, light ranged infantry armed with las guns, and a sentinel tier 1 vehicle, can decap points very quick but cannot cap points. Has heavy armor as opposed to vehicle armor, so light fire does damage it. Warboss forced off, no, looks like he's just going to kite away. Looks like Belchenok has come bottom and Texanius is capping up the top. When it comes to fighting Orks, I think the big question in tier 1 is how do you deal with the shooters. Imperial Guard of course have a ready-made solution in the form of the Sentinel, which can just run in and stomp them in the face. So Tex would be good to try and keep his shooters separated. We're seeing him use his Warboss to cap and decap here, which is something I've noticed Texanius do quite a lot, uses his Warboss to cap a lot, especially in the early game. He's not quick, but he is reasonably tough to start off with, so can decap points while under fire. Here comes some shooters, they have their big shooter already. Very often is the first upgrade you get as an Ork player, allows you to be aggressive early on. The other shooter squad on their way do not have their big shooter. We have a triple shooter build on the way for Texanius here. Guardsmen have their sergeant, both squads, taking them up to 9 members. Power node goes up here for Texanius. His natural power is decap though, thanks to the Sentinel. Belchenok has 2 generators on their natural straight away. Center VP is not being capped, now it will be by the guardsmen. Have another guardsman squad on the way for Belchenok. Sluggers, light melee infantry for Orks, hiding behind this rock. Sneaky Orks. Here comes Texanius again with his commander. We do have big shooters on one squad, but none of the others have any big shooters yet. We do have a Nob leader though on this squad. Interesting choice, adds to their durability and DPS. Inquisitor taking tons of damage, she is forced off, might go down even if the sluggers can catch her in retreat, but they won't. Sentinel used sparingly, running away from shooters. Shooters with the Nob leader cap center, the others working on his guardsmen. One squad is forced off, the squad with the big shooter. This Nob leader shooter squad might be trouble for Belchenok to deal with. Should focus on the Sentinel in my opinion, down to half health. Shooters are forced off, Nob leader or not. Belchenok can now recap this big central line. Texanius using the Warboss to cap as he usually does, this time the bottom. Gets the wreck point and can get the VP next. Belchenok going tier 2 very quickly. One of the features of the current metagame is that the Imperial Guard can get by tier 1 spending little to no power, and as you can see Belchenok has in fact spent no power at all and is going straight to tier 2 and has survived just fine with guardsman squads and sentinels, and a sentinel I should say. Here come 2 shooter squads, one with big shooter and one with a knob leader. Hammer off the Witch is stunning the knob leader. That's the default ability of the Inquisitor, and they're going to be forced off by all these lasguns. These shooters also go for the knob leader, of course, in heavy cover now, forcing off, well, making the guardsman kite away at least. Triple guardsman, all with sergeants, yes. Belchenok hitting tier 2 now. We have sluggers with their burners burning down generators. Here come a bunch of guardsmen to try and stop them. Burners count as power weapons in melee, and they do retreat without taking any losses. Guardsmen then proceed to repair. We have a Chimera on the way. Transport vehicle for Imperial Guard, allows Imperial Guard to reinforce around it, and of course any allies, but this is a 1v1 so they have none. Warboss again used to decap. How much better would those early engagements have gone if the Warboss is around to stomp in guardsman faces? Manages to decap this fully matured wreck point, so that's a blow to Belchenok. He's forced off though. Chimera is on the field, away from any action at the moment, but is catching up to these guardsmen who have, 2 of which in a way have upgraded with commissars, taking them up to 12 members, adding to their DPS and durability, making them reinforce even quicker too, 3 at a time in fact. So that's going to be pretty nasty to deal with, combined with the Chimera. A weird boy would be nice. Tex going tier 2 now, 490 plays 380. Tex has managed to keep map control though, thanks to the Warboss capping this south. Sentinel decaps both of these points and now comes to help out. Warboss wants to be stomping, there it is, but they get in the Chimera and dodge it. Sluggers and the Warboss forced off. Belchenok meanwhile went down at the top to triple shooter fire, which he would. He'll be tier 2 soon. Belchenok now hitting his power though, which is pretty much the only power he's got. He's only got 2 points without nodes. Belchenok meanwhile has triple generators. Other than that though, absolutely no map control, only a single fully matured wreck point. Tank busters on the way for Texanius, no doubt to take care of this Chimera. Sentinel being very annoying and decapping Texanius' natural. 490 plays 296. Belchenok clumping his units together. It's not really helping him with map control. Sentinel decapping again. Warboss, sorry, Belchenok goes south with the Inquisitor and caps the VP. Sentinel needs to run away. 3 shooters shooting at it, and does get away. Yes, don't think we've seen a single stomp in this game. Tank busters are on the field. Warboss has his big mean power claw. It's going to go down now, I think, in retreat, and does. Personally, I would have gone with the bang bang hammer against Imperial Guard, but what do I know. Tank busters managed to get 1 shot off on the Chimera, taking about a third or so of its health. Triple shooters now working on this power farm. You can see the damage they do. Here comes the Sentinel, very low on health, needs to be very careful. Shooters should try and take it out. And are they going to chase it into base? They do. Not sure what Belchenok was thinking, bringing it into the fight at that HP. Manticore on the way for Belchenok. Artillery unit. Texanius with his Power Claw and Angry Bits. Going south with some tank busters. Here's the Chimera. Warboss wants to get into melee with it, I'm sure. That claw will rip anything apart. Now I'm Angry goes off. There's a stomp and he's forced off. Just a bit of disruption there. Belchenok standing center, getting hit by sluggers who have their burners. No indicator for her, but the Inquisitor is in retreat. Sluggers then retreat through all of these guardsmen. They could force melee, perhaps take out a few models. Nope, they decide to shoot at the node instead. Take it out, leveling up one of the squads. Belchenok starting to claw back some map control here. Has the north, has the center VP. Bottom VP is decapped. 335 plays 286. Big engagement in the center now. Warboss and tank busters and shooters. Angry Bits bugging out. Warboss getting stuck on terrain there. There's a Hell Fury strike. Global ability of the Inquisitor. Very unlucky for Texanius. Belchenok going to tier 3 now. Where is the Manticore? It's parked behind this building in center. Orks healing up back at base. Sluggers going for the top VP. Nothing to stop them right now. Belchenok capping bottom. 289 plays 286. Texanius ways off tier 3. Ways off even the thought of tier 3. Has 15 power income thanks to that single node and the default 10. Now getting a node. Belchenok in the ascendancy. There's a Manticore strike on those sluggers. They managed to dodge it though. Fantastic micro from Texanius. Can now go back to capping. Manticore is a very powerful artillery unit, huge range. Each shot needs to be manually targeted, and it's very, very weak if it's caught by these tank busters, for example. Guardsmen dying in droves, but it doesn't matter. Look how fast they reinforce. Guardsmen forcing off the Orks here. Triple Guardsman and a Chimera has pretty much all Belchenok has needed to hold off these Orks. Manticore is just icing on the cake. Manticore's strike will be off cooldown pretty soon. Not sure what these Guardsmen are doing. They are getting line of sight for a Manticore strike in base. Ouch! That is a ridiculous amount of Orks dying in a single shot. I think that was perhaps as much as 10. Fantastic play by Belchenok. Inquisitor has her Inferno pistol. Ranged weapon. Great versus all targets. Warboss decapping. This natural judgment goes off on the Warboss. Don't know if Texanius has noticed. After 20 seconds the Warboss will be able to be judged, taking huge damage. Inability of the Inferno pistol. Warboss does get away though. Manticore still hiding behind this building. Weird boy on the field for Texanius. Great choice in my opinion. Will kill a bunch of guardsmen with every shot, I think. The Manticore goes down. Tank busters found it. Missed that. They are now working on generators. Fantastic damage to generators, as you can see. 2 volleys and it's down. Chimera and Guardsmen come to defend. Huge map control for Belchenok. Has the entire central column of points. Tank busters managed to take out 2 gens and now get some rear arm hits on this Chimera, down to half health. With boyz artillery attack, forcing off the Guardsmen straight away. Ogren's on the way for Belchenok. Tier 3, that quickly, perhaps a mistake. Double Ogren's in Tier 2 would have been very difficult for Texanius to deal with. Now I'm angry, getting him into range. Was that a Guardsman squad wipe? That was. Here are the Ogren's, elite melee unit for Imperial Guard. Very tough, very good in melee versus all targets. Can get a bonehead leader. Hammer of the Witches takes out the Warboss. Weird Boy Cap Center, sub commander for Orks. Lots of disruptive and damaging abilities. Ogren squad do get their bonehead leader, taken up to 4 members. They're going to be pretty scary if they get close to anything. Big shooters need to suppress them and do. The one drawback of Ogren's is that they have no way to break suppression and they're taking tons of damage from the Weird Boy. That shot hit all 4 members, I think, and they're forced off. Inquisitor used judgment on a shooter boy there, but she's forced to retreat, so will most likely not get to judge them. It's turned around a bit here for Texanius. Can now recap. Takes the bottom, takes the middle. 147 plays 205. Belchenok down to just 2 Guardsmen, a Chimera and Ogren's. Wasted resources going Tier 3, I think, though. 422 red, not far from a rocket run. You have plasma guns on these Guardsmen now. Not sure what good that is versus sluggers and shooters though. Inferno pistol doing huge damage to the Warboss, forcing him off. Sluggers also forced off. No sign of their knob leader yet, which of course got a couple of buffs a couple of patches ago. Texanius has loads of red. Still a ways off Tier 3 though. 147 plays 149, triple cap for Texanius, not for long. Belchenok takes south west with the Inquisitor. Everything. Nope, only sluggers and Warboss back at base. We have a bunch of shooters and the Weird Boy up here. War truck on the way for Tex. Ogren's healed up. Try to cap. Weird Boy is going to get artillery attacks off them. Needs to focus down the Ogren's. That was a tank buster barrage right in the middle of those Guardsmen. And that's Warp Vomit from the Weird Boy, stunning these Ogren's. Weird Boy proving to be a fantastic counter for these Ogren's, combined with shooters. Warboss now in melee with them with a power claw. They need to get the hell out of there. 2 members go down. Perhaps another, and it does. The bonehead leader gets away though. Warboss has his cyborg implants. War truck allowing these Orks to reinforce. Belchenok has no AV apart from the Inferno pistol and the Ogren's if they could get into melee. 147 plays 85. Belchenok, I think, is going to lose this game. A case of should have stayed in Tier 2 a bit longer, I think. I think double Ogren's would have been a bit too much for Texanius to deal with at that point. Big stomp, devastating to these Guardsmen. Belchenok calls GG and concedes. Great win for Texanius after it looked a bit dire in Tier 2. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.